Good morning, this is your Math Sensei, Mr. Spensei, and this is STAAR Review 2023, problems 34 through 44. Printer ink costs $18.99 per cartridge. By the way, I see that word per. That's an important word because per tells me this is my rate, and rate means this is a slope. The company sells the ink cartridge a flat rate shipping fee of $7.95. So that means this right here is like my y-intercept. So this right here looks like a y-intercept. No matter the number of cartridges purchased in a single order, which linear model is the total cost T for a single order of C cartridges? Oh, wait a second. C cartridges, T total. So let's think about this first as y equals mx plus b, because I think this is the best place to start. So y equals mx plus b, we go, oh, per, that's my rate. So y equals 18.99x plus the flat fee of $7.95. So right away, we can get rid of these two. But now we have this problem, and they both have C's and T's, so you have to pay attention. This says per cartridge. So per X. So C is my X. So that means T is the total amount. So T equals 1899 C plus 7.95. This is one that you should get, okay? And definitely should be able to get it to two answer choices. So the answer to number 34 is D. 35, not as concerned about this, but the expression x to the 6 y cubed divided by this can be written as a product of two exponential terms with bases x and y values, where x, the expression is defined. Choose the correct value of the exponent for each term. Move the correct answer to each box. Each answer may be used more than once. Not all answers will be used. Wow. So first off, I see a division sign and I see fraction. So I want to say my little saying, dividing fractions easy as pie, flip the second and multiply. So let's do that. So x to the 6, y cubed, flip the second thing and multiply it. So now I'm going to flip it. So it's going to be y over x squared. All I did was flip. Well, this is not a fraction, so I'm just going to put it over 1. So if I rewrite this, I now have x to the 6, y cubed, y, and I'm going to put a 1 on this, all over 1 times x squared is just x squared. Well, when we multiply we add our exponents. So this is going to be y cubed plus 1. Y cubed plus 1 is just 3 plus 1 is 4, so this is y to the 4th. I should write this over here. X to the 6th, y cubed, y to the 1st, over x to the 6th, or x squared. And we just said, well, we have the x to the 6th, and we just added the 3 plus 1, and we have x squared in the denominator. Well, 3 plus 1, that gave us 4. So that gave us y to the 4th. But we also have this x squared. We always, division means subtract. So I'm going to subtract these two exponents. So this goes away because that's x to the 0. And I now have 6 minus 2. 6 minus 2 is 4. Okay, so I end up with x to the 4th and y to the 4th. And we use both of them twice. Scary answer. Not one I'm as deeply concerned about. Number 36. This year, the number of students who participated in sports was 317. Each year, the number of students increases by 4%. Ooh, we have a growth. So this tells me I'm using y equals a b to the x, where a is my start. Well, where did we start? What's my y-intercept? My y-intercept is 317. I have a growth, but it's a percent, so I need to go 4 divided by 100, and that gives me 0.04. Okay? Um, and it's increasing. They tell me it's increasing, so B has to be greater than 1. So let's start with that. We know A is 317, so we have to have a 317. This one does. And this one does. These are, and these two are set up as exponential equations where we have a growth rate. But the one that has the 0.04 is B. I mean, is C right here, because this is 1 plus 0.04 to the x. If it's a growth, you're always adding 1. So we're always adding 1 to that. So another way of saying is like you could add 100 and you have 104 and divide by 100 is 1.04. But I think the easiest way is just remember add 1, divide, turn it to a decimal. Oh, there's a 0.04. We cannot use that right there is 400%. That's not 4%. All right, you always have to divide percents. Always divide percents by 100. So the reason that's not right is because it wasn't divided by 100. This one was, even though it looks a little different. Okay, so that's 36. Number 37. The tables of ordered pairs represent some points on the graphs of two different lines. Which system of equations represents the graph of these two lines? All right, I'm going to tell you this is not one I'm super concerned about, but we're going to input this into Desmos, and when we do that, we're going to get an equation that looks like y equals mx plus b. Unfortunately, that's not going to finish our work because we're going to need to reorder them. So we're going to get y equals mx plus b both times, and we're going to need to reorder. So I'm going to input the first one, the first equation, and go with that. So I'm going to press share. And plus button, table, and we have -11, -6, -1, and 4. And then we have 81, enter, 51, enter, 21, enter, -9. Hit the regression, and I get -6x plus 15. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down on my paper. We'll come back to our answers in a moment. So y equals -6x plus 15. Now I'm going to do the next one. The next table. There we go. Slide this up so you can see it. Maybe I'm not. Thought I was. And we have the lights going off. I always hate it when that happens. It seems like it happens 2 or 3 times every time we make one of these videos. So we have -9, -4, 1, and then we have 6. And then over here we have 18, 3, -12, and we have -27. And we end up getting the equation y equals -3x minus 9 for our second one. All right, I've written those both down. I'm going to stop my share and we're going to go back and look at the paper. Unfortunately, these are not in y equals mx plus b format, which means I need to rearrange. All right, so beginning with the first one, I need to move this 6x to the other side by adding 6x to both sides. I do this, and now I have 6x plus y equals 15. So I'm looking for that. Do I have a 6x plus y equals 15? This one, no. No. Close, but no. This one, yes. So our answer is D. But let's check out this other part. We have y equals -3x minus 9. I add 3x to both sides. Now I have 3x plus y equals -9, and that also matches. So both equations match. Okay, this next one, scary but not hard. The function f of x equals x squared was transformed to create this. Please note, all we have to do is go, hey, this is what it was, and now they're saying, oh, we're going to do this. So I just need to put a squared on that. All I did was take this squared and move it there. What are the coordinates of the vertex of G? So they're looking for the vertex. And if we have a parabola, the parabola can open up. If it opens up, my vertex is here. If it opens down, my vertex is there. So I can actually pull this from here. And I'm not sure why I have this written like this, but basically we're looking for an x and a y. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to share my screen. Let's get rid of all this stuff. I'm going to input the first equation, even though it wasn't important. So y equals x squared. And we'll zoom in, zoom out. There it is. There's my first one. It's in blue. The next one, the one was transformed, is y equals, and then it's parentheses, x minus 3. And we're going to square it. And we're going to put -9. It's like, okay, we're asking for the vertex. We're asking this point. And we're going to go ahead and label it. So our point is 3, -9. So our point here is 3 and -9. We use these two values. Okay, this is my x, this is my y, because our vertex, our parabola looks like this one, 3, -9. Remember, this is a minimum. Okay, and that's my vertex. Which expression is equivalent to this? In this case, this is one of those times I'm going to plug everything in. Now, they made things different. They added two variables. If they do this, find the one that keeps showing up. G keeps showing up, so I have to keep the G. I'm going to cross that out. They're just trying to be tricky. So we're going to keep 24G minus 12G squared plus 18G. Once again, G keeps showing up, so we're crossing out H, crossing out the H's. All right? Whatever I crossed out here, I need to cross out down there. So I'm going to plug those in just the way they are, and they say equivalent. If they're asking for equivalent, they're asking for the same. So which one is the same? So we're going to go to our share screen. And we have 24x minus 12x squared plus 18x. Okay, so that's the one we have to look like. We have to look like the black one, and we want to find one that lays directly on top of it. So we have 6x parentheses 4 minus 12x plus 18. It's like, well, that one's not exactly the same, so it's not that one. So we can't be that one, so we have to redo it. And we go, okay, the next one starts off with a 12x, and then a 2 here, and then a -12x plus 18. And that one doesn't work either. So then we try the next one. We have a 6x, a 4, a -12, and a plus 3. And I don't even see that one, so I'm zooming out going, hey, where is that one? Nope, not there. So it can't be that one. So we've eliminated A, B, and C. Better be this one. So we go to 12x. This is a 2. This is just an x. Oops. And this is a plus 3. So when I don't get an answer, that means I got to go back and figure out what I did wrong. And that's going to happen to you on the test. On a test, don't just get frustrated and give up. Go, okay, there's a problem. And yeah, there is a problem. This one right here on C, and I got to go back. I'm going to stop my share for a second. There's a typo on this one. There's a typo. This should have been written as 6x parentheses 4 minus 12 or 6g 4h minus 12g plus 3. So this had a typo, but once again, we're going to cross out this. All right, so this is, and that's not a 12, that's supposed to be a 2. So I need to go back to that, share, and see if I can't get that in there right. So here we go. So I'm going to get rid of that completely because I think that's going to be confusing. And what we should have had is 6x parentheses 4 minus 2x. Please remember that's not a 12, it's a 2x. And then it's supposed to be a plus 3. And I'm going to hide that. And the blue one lies directly on the black one. So that means they are the same and that's equivalent. Sorry about those typos. Doing the best I can. Not perfect. All right, just forgiven. So 39 is D. Number 40. A company advertises on 2 websites. Each website charges a different amount based on the number of clicks on the advertisement. The table shows the number of clicks of each website and the cost. Okay, so we have website 1 and website 2, and this is what they cost. I'm going to call this an X, and this is a Y. So this is 15X plus 29. Y equals 94.15. And then I have 25x plus 29y equals 121.15. So I have 2 equations, and this lines up just like a matrices. So guess what? We're going to do this by matrices. And the reason I highlighted this is because this is what we're looking for, is the x's. So we're going to go to blue matrix, arrow to edit, and we have 15, 29, 94.15. And we have 25, 29, and 121.15. Blue mode, blue matrix, math, RREF, blue matrix, enter, enter. And we get 2.7 and 1.85. Now, we're going to write those down as an order paired, 2.7 and 1.85. This is my X, this is my Y, and we're looking for website 1, which we said was our X's, so our answer choice is this. Notice they tried to trick you by putting in the Y, but it's not there. That's the Y value, and that's not the X value. We wanted the X. So our answer choice of 40 is D. Okay. Function K is defined as this. So they're telling us, and by the way, this is, remember, this is a quadratic, and I know that because it's raised to the second power. What are the solutions? When they're asking for the solutions, they're asking for the zeros, the x-intercepts, They're also asking for the roots. And they give us this. So we're going to input both of these because x equals 0 is where it's going to occur. And this will show us what happens. Then we're going to have to plug in these answer choices. And this is going to be a little bit ugly, but because we're going to get a decimal answer, but we can make this work out. So this is one that you have to be able to do. This is a super important problem, but the answers are ugly, but you can definitely use Desmos to get this. It's not a hard problem. So we're going to press the share button. And you got to input that parabola. That parabola is x squared plus 32x plus 248. So there it is. Okay. Now, we also had the other equation. We're going to plug that in. We have y equals 0. So these are the answer choices we're looking for. Now I'm going to have them label them. Again. Boom. So they're labeled. So we got these ugly decimal answers, and that's okay. We're going to start off by plugging in the first answer choice, which is A, which is negative 16 plus 2, oops. There we go. Negative 16 plus 2. We're going to get the square root thing, 2. And we get negative 13.7157. That's good. So we know we need a negative 16 plus 2 square roots of 2. So that's looking good. So then we're going to try the next one. And the next one is negative 16 minus 2 square roots of 2. And guess what? We get the other one. So our first answer choice is A. A works for that one. You can sit there and plug the rest in and the rest won't work. But A matches. It gives us the values that we're looking for. Okay, so that takes care of that one. Easy to do, just ugly numbers. A customer purchased an electronic device for $650. Okay. Each year the value decreases. Okay. So each year it's decreasing. So this means we have decay. Right now, I already know that this is going to be y equals a times b to the x. Remember, a is my start. Well, what did it start at? It started at 650. I also know b has to be less than 1, and I know that because it's decaying. If it's growth, it's greater than 1. So, which state? So I know that a is 650. This is where it starts. A is my start. It's also my y-intercept. The y-intercept of the graph is 650. Well, guess what? That's my answer. 42, very straightforward, very easy question. 42 is A. The y-intercept is 455, nothing to do with it. The graph has a vertical asymptote. No, everything we deal with is a horizontal. And it'll always be y equals something. The graph has a horizontal asymptote at y equals 30. If we had put this in, it would be at y equals 0, because our actual equation would have been y equals 650. And in this case, 30%, 30 divided by 100 is 0.30. So, and we have to go 1 minus that because it's decay. So in this case, 0.70 to the x. All right. But that's not what it asked us to do. It just said, hey, what's our y-intercept? There it is. 41. What is the solution to the linear equality y is greater than? Graph the solution of the linear equality in the coordinate plane. Okay, so first off, greater than or equal to. Ooh, I see that greater than or equal to. That's a solid line. Now, so I already know it's a solid line, and this is a greater than or equal to. So greater than, or greater than or equal to, we shade above. So we're shading above the line. You're like, but what if I can't graph? Well, first off, let's do this. I'm going to graph this, and my slope is -1. So I end up getting this slope, down 1 over 1. Don't forget about Frankenstein, angry slope man. Negative slope is going down, positive slope is going up. Undefined is a vertical line with x equal. Zero is a zero slope. It's a horizontal line like that, and that's a y equals. But in this case, we have this slope. Now, let's just say that you struggle with graphing. That's fine. We're going to go to Desmos, and Desmos will graph this for us. So we'll make sure that you know how to do that. We're going to go to share. Get rid of all this last parabola stuff. And we're going to plug in y equals -x plus 2. And there it is. We can zoom in, get a couple points. There's a point. There's a point. We could plot those 2 points, connect them, and we'd be pretty good shape to graph this out. Okay. Now, what it won't do is a greater than or less than. You have to know what to shade with. Well, greater than is above. Well, if I'm shading above, that means I'm shading up here because that's above the line. And the reason I know that's above the line is if I have this guy and he's up here, the line doesn't fall on him. He's above it. The tree doesn't fall. This person down here gets crushed by the tree because he's below. All right. Okay. So if the tree falls on you, you're below the line. If the tree doesn't, you're above the line. Okay. A graph shows point P and line M. Which equation must represent the slope-intercept form? So they say slope-intercept form. So they want it in y equals mx plus b form that passes through the point P and is parallel to line M. Parallel means same slope. All right, please remember parallel, same slope. Now, ideally, you could count this out and you go M equals y over x. And you go, you know what? Same slope means I need to choose a point. I'm going to choose these two. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, up a +3 and over 1, 2, over a +2. So I get 3/2. All right. So ideally we would do that and that would go, well, that gets rid of this, that gets rid of this. The other thing is I know it's a positive slope because I can use the angry slope man. Oops. Angry slope guy. Negative slope. Nope. It looks like this. This is a positive slope. Remember, this is undefined, which is a vertical line with x equals, horizontal line with y equals, and 0 slope. But we know it's going to be one of these two. Now, it needs to pass through these points. And ideally, we'd go 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2. 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2. It's like, oh, there's my parallel line, and it looks like it hits at +5. So that one. But let's just say we didn't know that. If we didn't know that, what we could do is we could go to Desmos and make a table of x, y, and in this case, we'd have 0, -3, and we'd have 2, 0. That's my x and that's my y. I could plug in those points. And if I do that, I'm going to go ahead and do that. It's going to give me my equation. You know I love it when the lights go out. 0. Does that creep you out a little bit? Probably should. Certainly bothers me. Okay. Lights back on. Hit the domino button, and there's my equation. Y equals 1.5 x minus 3. So I'm going to write that down. That was my original equation. Y equals 1.5 x minus 3. Now, I need one that's parallel to that. So I could sit there and go, you know what? Let's plug this in. I can plug in all these answer choices. So y equals 3/2 x minus 5. It's parallel, but remember, it has to go through, you know what? Let's do this real quickly. It has to go through the point -2, 2. Does it go through that green point? And the answer is no, it doesn't go through that green point. So it doesn't go through the green point. That one's wrong. The next one is y equals -2/3 x plus 2/3. So that one's wrong. And the next one is 3/2 x plus 5. And we already said that this is the one. And look, it's a parallel line and it goes through that point. That's my answer. So we can just plug the answers in and see which one gives us parallel lines. All right. So best answer choice for 44 is C. Appreciate you watching. Look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thank you.